is going on, everybody? Happy Friday and welcome back to the automation station here with the PeakBot team. Ben, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Capping off a good week despite the King AI loss, which we will talk about today.
Oh, yeah.
And looking forward to an abbreviated week next week with President's Day, keeping the market closed on Monday.
That's right. So closed market, King AI loss, which means normally there's wins to come behind it. We're in a position today. We'll talk about the difference between our King AI strategy, which has been crushing it and still crushing it, even coming off of a loss, and turbo mode, the new bot, the new version of King AI, in which we may be launching here sooner rather than later, that decided no trade. So sat out, call that a winner. So we'll get into all that and more. Our Shorbo strategy, which we've been quiet about because it was in a drawdown, is on quite a resurgence, up $1,000 per contract on trading $500 in just February alone, in under 2 weeks. So we'll take a look at that and more. Ben, maybe Ben's feeling a trade idea. I'm going to expose you, Ben. We're getting into, we're having some fun, minor fun with futures stuff right now, and it's fun. It's fun.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's scary. It's fun.
It is scary, but it's fun.
Trading futures is scary when you're used to trading options.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Selling options, even more so, selling options. But
right.
All right, so look, let's get into it, Ben. What do you say? Where do we want to start? We also can do trader trivia. I gotta tell you, I'm trying to get some people here, get a repost out here, get some more, but it's not showing up on Twitter. I can't get a link.
Not showing up to show.
I can't get the link to repost this thing to get some more people here. So Ben, maybe you can open up your X and see if the link comes up and send it out. Anyway, the show must go on. While you're trying to do that, maybe we can get into a few things. Ben, did you have any open positions on BenBot? I know I'm throwing a lot at you right now.
I do, and you know what? I am on X, and I don't see us. I don't see our faces here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we got people here, so there are people here, but there's not. I'm wondering if maybe we try again.
No, let's just roll with it, I guess.
Roll on. Maybe there's been an issue.
Weird. Really weird.
All right. We're here. Hey, if you're here, we appreciate you. You're probably the only ones who care anyway. So, all right.
Yeah, I've got BenBot. BenBot's actually done for the day.
Okay.
A nice quick trade earlier. With our new approach, only requiring, really, I'm only trading with a maximum of $500 a day, usually less than $200 a day. But today, and let's go over the trade too, because there's it was a good one today, and there's a pattern that's been forming and that we've noticed in the market, which also applies to Shorbo, one of our longer time bots, and so let's take a look. We got in for a debit at 40 cents at, what time is that at? 10:22, almost 10:23 Eastern. And then we got right back out about 5 minutes later, so 10:28 or 10:29 Eastern for a nice $50 gain per unit here. The way that we trade this is we were selling a put credit spread and then using that to offset the price of a further out of the money call. So we do wind up with a debit, and we want price to go up in this case. Now, the reason I like this setup, and I'll go to, actually I need to go to research. I can just go to retrade here. If I go to set this up again, so check this out. This is why I love this type of trade. This is my risk profile here. Unlimited upside, but I've got a capped downside here. So it almost functions like a call. However, today was a little expensive, a little more volatility in the market. A lot of the time, I can pick up that call for almost free because of the credit I get on the put credit spread, or sometimes I even get to keep a little bit of that credit. So this is how I'm liking setting up these plays. So essentially, I'm waiting for a break in one direction or another, and then I'm going to go with the trend. And then if we get too extended into that trend, I'm going to go against it. So I'm actually thinking about potentially an afternoon trade, which maybe we'll do live, counting on a bit of a pullback. So I'll be watching that. I'll be looking at that, and then seeing if we can get a nice little scalp here. But as you can see, so let's just say I got it in at 40 cents earlier. Price is all out of whack right now because of where the market's at the moment. But my max loss here would have been about $140. It's obviously not showing us that now because prices have moved since I was in this position last. And so my max loss was $140. My potential winnings were unlimited. However, with a quick move up, I did take profit fairly quick. And I could get this up on a chart.
I was just gonna say I'm pulling it up IWM now.
Let me get my
trading
view up. So check this out. And I'm trading right now based on the 30-minute orb. So let me get this off, and then let me get orb on. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the 30-minute orb to form. When it forms, then I switch over to 5-minute bars, and then I'm looking for the first candle to close above. Now, I saw this close above at 10:05. I saw it pull back, so I waited. I did wait. As we saw, I waited till 10:22. So right around this time period, I went long on the bounce back off of orb, and then we kind of just been moving upwards since then. So if we look at the move today, we're in a steady move up. And this is what I'm debating right now.
Some consolidation there, maybe.
Well, if we look at, this trend has kind of cooled down a little bit. We've kind of broken below this rising support line. Now, my theory is we're going to act as resistance. So if we see it pop up to, I'm going to just say above 265, let's call it, that's going to be tempting to not try to play the reversal there. So I'd probably look for a pop above. Here, I'm just going to put this at exactly 265. So a pop above 265, and then a pop below. So I want to touch that level, and then I want to go back below 264.20, let's call it, because there's a lot of consolidation right there. If we break back below that, I think we could probably run back down to between 263 and 262. So I might put on a bearish play this afternoon. That's the thought process. We'll see how the day plays out. And there's always the possibility that I will just not place a trade and just stick with the win that we have so far today.
Yeah, and that win, Ben, we'll fill that in once the day concludes. But let's say we stick with the $50. That'll put you $155 in the green, coming off of a loss on Monday. Since Monday, we've been streaking in the green: $10, $35, $42. Again, this strategy is about base hits. If we can find green months, we're going to be happy about it, and this bot's been able to do that. So we'll see if we can cap off a great week for BenBot results here, and keep things chugging. So,
and this percent's got to change. Actually, I didn't tell the people that are tracking this for us that I'm using a different balance now. I'm using $5,000 as my base balance. You still need $25,000 to day trade, but I'm only trading with a set aside portfolio budget of $5,000, and the actual budget again is like $200.
So then we're going to want to change the total percentages across the board here for BenBot, and just make it clear that, day trading, yes, but cash needed is far less. So Ben has you got the new version tab up.
Yep. Only been trading this since the beginning of February. So with the $5,000, and there's a $50 win today. Let's just plug that in. I just want to see what that looks like. Make the chart look a little bit nicer. Make that look a little bit nicer.
I think it'll put us at $155 up, actually, since launch. Yeah.
Change that. Bam. Cool. So this is the beginning of a new era of BenBot.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that equity curve, man. Look at that Zorro slash. We're back. We're back.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it'll continue to act like that all the way. As we move upwards, it's gonna wiggle. We know that strategies do that.
Absolutely. But hey, we're confident about BenBot as being a part of the backbone of a lot of our automated portfolios. That and the wheel strategy. Maybe we give some love to the wheel strategy here on today's show as well. With some updates being made. All right, cool. So hey, BenBot, great 10-minute trade earlier for $50. We'll see if Ben gets back on the horse this afternoon. Why don't we move into King AI? And then we can talk about transition from that win and loss on King AI into turbo mode. So here, I'm going to pull your screen down. We're going to pull up King AI, and we're going to get started. All right. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to flip screens on this just to bring it over here. Just because my chat is blowing up, and you guys don't need to worry yourselves about that. All right. So here is King AI. Now, just as a reminder for everybody, since launch, hold on. Okay. So since launch, King AI launched 9/17, so September 17th. It has taken 58 trades? Yeah, 58 trades. It has won 52 of them for a total gain of $2,665 per unit. Okay, so we can see February here, even coming off of a big 850 loss, which we say it's big loss, but that's an expected loss size. The average loss is right around $780, $800. Lately, it's been more like 850 because the premium we're collecting is a little bit lower with the volatility in the market. A lot of deltas being selected around the 10 and 15 delta as opposed to 20, 25. Anyway, point is, we're coming off a fantastic streak here. With King AI, bot is still incredibly hot. However, two things to note. What's obvious when you look at the data here, both live and back tested, is the best time to trade King AI is coming off of a loss. So if you're out there and you're watching, you're thinking about, man, do I get in here? Now's the time. Now's the time to do it. And it sounds annoying. We probably are always saying that, but it's true. The other thing to think about is King AI's turbo mode, which we got a request to talk about here today, and the difference between the two. Ben, I'll let you kind of take them to school on that here in a little bit. Hoping that they're tuned in. But Ben, tell them what's interesting with turbo mode. We avoided the loss. Tell them how.
Yeah, the bot avoided the loss by not taking the trade from Wednesday going into Thursday, and that's a result of a different machine learning model. Really just tweaks to our settings from the original King AI model. So the original King AI model was really built to go for a higher win rate. Although I think King AI Turbo being live versus King AI Live has a higher win rate now, especially after that.
And the return.
And a higher return, right. So what we did was we wanted to dial up the risk a little bit in our model. And this is all based off of different confidence levels that each delta is providing. The main difference was we wanted to take a little bit more risk to cut down on recovery time for King AI. Now, Dylan, do you still have King AI results back up or up?
Yeah, I'll pull them back up. Sorry.
Yeah, pull them back up real quick. So the one thing that we don't love so much about King AI, and there's a lot to love, the one thing that we don't love so much is the recovery time, right? So when you lose, so look at that loss on January 20th. It took us how many days? Scroll up until that number, that sum is above zero. It took us, change that.
That's 990, so I think it was one less. 875. So six trades. So
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days it would have taken to recover from that. Meanwhile,
not bad. Not bad.
No, not bad.
90% win rate. We're very happy. That becomes a very profitable strategy, as you can see. But we always are striving for the edge and the excellence. So go ahead, continue. Sorry.
So now I'm going to pull up my screen. So 6 days to recover from that loss. Now for King AI Turbo mode, check this out. So it lost on the same day, and there was no trade again, expiring yesterday. There is a trade going into today, so this will be updated per that. But for turbo mode, it took us 4 days to recover from a loss.
Yep.
So it cut the time to recover down by 30%, or a little bit more than 30%. And in other cases, it cuts it down even faster when King AI might take a little bit longer to recover. Like, take a look at this trade here. You're fully recovered after this loss in 3 trades. But as we can see, there are some time periods where, you're going to lose. You're going to lose quite a bit. And that's the give and take with turbo mode, right? It's going to lose more than King AI. It's going to shoot for higher credit than King AI. So you just want to be smart about it. And how do you be smart about it? That's completely up to you. For me personally, and this is not financial advice, I'm going to use it as loss recovery, right? After we take a loss, I'm going to flip turbo mode on. I'm going to try to recover from my loss in about half of the time that King AI would recover from it normally. And then once I'm recovered from my loss, I'm going to flip turbo mode back off and just trade King AI normally.
Yep. And this was just exactly what Ben was saying. Slightly more aggressive, higher delta selection. Coming with higher delta selection, though, Ben, is more defense, right? If the confidence level isn't there at the higher delta threshold, sit out like we saw. Not scale it back and be, the turbo mode's not saying let's scale it back and be more safe. Turbo mode's saying if it's not what we like in the slightly more aggressive, approach here, no trade, which turned out really well yesterday. So excellent. Yeah, and we'll update this. This is even better, Ben. It's $3,500 in return now. $3,550, which now King AI is now 25 something. 2600.
Wow, so turbo mode is really, really kicking butt.
Well, the difference was that the one trade. I just joined yesterday. I like your strategy of switching turbo mode and then off. When do you think turbo mode will be active?
First of all, great time to join, right after a loss, as Dylan was showing. Like, statistically speaking, on King AI normal mode, there haven't been 2 losses in a row for, I think, a year or more than a year at this point. In fact, I can go back.
None since we launched it.
Yeah. And then when do you think turbo mode will be active or available? End of next week is what we're shooting for.
We're thinking we're going to launch it as its own bot to start.
No, I think we're going to have a toggle.
Flip
we're
it.
going to have a toggle. Yeah.
What if people want to do both?
Can't.
All right. Decision's been made. We'll see if that changes. So yeah, if you're interested, keep tight, Daniel. We will keep an eye on your account as soon as it's live. Ben, are we going to launch a beta with limited users, or we feel like we've been doing enough testing internally?
We do have a beta going right now.
Okay, small beta live. Okay,
very small beta. Yeah, we're going to be solid next week.
All right, awesome. So hey, Daniel, thank you so much for tuning in. Scooby and Preza, you two, our YouTube audience holding it down today.
Yeah, X isn't working. Weird.
Thanks a lot, X.
One more note. What was I going to say about turbo mode? You will get an email. We're going to send out an email when turbo mode goes live, so you're not going to be in the dark wondering when it's going to be live. You'll get an email stating that we've launched it.
And if you're not on our email list, if you're not getting emails, send us an email to experience@peakbot.com. I'll throw it up on screen here just so we can get you on the list and go from there. So Ben, where do we go from here? Do we want to do trader trivia? Do we want to continue to talk through Shorbo's hotness? We can go back to Shorbo after trader trivia.
Let's do Shorbo. Maybe we won't do trader trivia because Twitter's not working or X isn't working. We'll see.
All right, let's do that.
Let's head on over to TradingView. Let's get my screen up here.
Are you going to talk about why Shorbo might be working right now, or this IWM now?
This is still IWM. I'm going to switch over to Shorbo, and let me get the Shorbo results.
I have it up if you want it.
I got it. No worries. So Shorbo as we can see, we've hit a little bit of a skid overall in terms of bot performance, but recently, specifically this February, we are hot. We are hot on Shorbo. Truthfully, we were considering putting this bot back on the bench, and now that we see it performing as we've seen it perform in the past, we're questioning that, and we're trying to determine what's the best method, or how do we identify the markets that this particular bot is working best in. So out of the little bit of time that I have put in so far to take a look at this, I think I've noticed something. And we'll go back to Trading View here. I'm going to go to SPX because Shorbo trades SPX. Now we're going to, let's turn off.
Ben, may I just introduce the strategy very high level before you get into some of this patterns you're finding?
Yes, go ahead.
So it's a 0 DTE orb strategy, opening range breakout. We place a trade between 10 a.m. and noon Eastern. If we break outside of the opening range set in the morning, the high and the low of SPX in the first 30 minutes, if we see a break in our trading window, bullish or bearish, we trade in that direction with a $5 credit spread. Ben, what direction or what patterns are you seeing here?
Yeah, so if I'm looking at winning months, let's draw horizontal lines at the month end. So that's a vertical line. We've got I need a vertical line, not a horizontal line.
Alt B.
All right, so we've got start of Feb, start of Jan. We've got December. We've got November.
Gotta be an indicator for this, you know?
Yeah, probably. All right. So let's look here. If we look at October, just an example, okay? We made $427 per unit on this bot in October. So one thing that I'm looking at right now are the size of the candle bodies every day, right? Because that typically indicates that there's a trend that's been happening throughout the course of that day. And this is a trade with the trend style strategy. It's Shorbo, it's short opening range breakout. So we're going to sell a credit spread going with the direction, or in favor of the direction of the breakout. So we've got some decently wide body candles throughout this month. Going into November, we lost about $1,000 per contract in November, and I'm going to need to put this on a data like a Excel sheet to see how many wide bodies there were versus small body candles, because like I'm looking at, that's pretty small here, 1, 2, and like I don't want to see big wicks either. So like the big wicks are potential to get stopped out. So
I can tell you the days that it lost if you want.
Yeah, so it lost on the 4th, it looks like, yep, which had a big wick to it. It lost on the
17th, 8th, the whole week, 17th to the 21st. It took 4 it didn't trade Wednesday, but Monday. So 17, 18, 20, 21. All losers. Big losers.
It lost on 20. Okay, so maybe my theory isn't so correct. But because that's a huge body. But I think on these two, there are very large wicks in either direction. So that's interesting to look at. And then going to December, we actually made money. We made a little over $100 per contract, not great. And then January, we were pretty flat, minus $200 per contract. And then, as we know, in February, we are crushing it so far. Yeah, I think visually it's hard to pick up on a trend here, but I do think there's something to say about large wicks and wide body candles on the daily bars.
Well, you know what's interesting, Ben? It crushed in April. One of its best months outside of this month was April, when we March and April last month, 25. March, it made $2,000 a contract, dude. April, it made March of 25. Yeah. Traded every single Monday and Tuesday of March. Sat out most of the Wednesdays. So Anyway, point is, March was its best month ever. And I forget if we were live. I think that might have just, no, that was back tested.
Mhm.
So March and April were hot. May went to shit. I mean, not, pardon my language, but May lost $365. June lost the same. July, it turns it around. So we have unbelievable March, April, terrible. I mean, all things considered, not good May, June. July, great. August, bad. September, bad. October, good. So anyway.
Yeah. All right. So some more analysis to go in, but like that's what I'm looking at right now. It's wicks, bodies. I don't care so much about like overnight gaps, although that could mean more volatility, higher credit earned. Yeah, a lot to unpack there, a lot to analyze. What was our worst month recently? It was November. Yeah, November was bad.
November was the worst month we've had.
Yeah.
So look, this is what you want your bot providers, companies like PeakBot, to be doing. All right. Unfortunately, there's not many of them out there. All right. If you're here and you're listening, you know that. All right. These bots have a shelf life. Okay. If you want to keep a bot hot and in the market and making money and profitable, you got to be analyzing these things. Not over analyzing, not quick to make adjustments. Ben, we were ready to bench Shorebo. Then it has $1,000 with 200% month cash on cash.
Yep.
You know, so these are all things you got to watch out for. And again, Shorebo, keep in mind, people, this is using a $5 credit spread. You're realistically using $500 per day to trade this when the criteria is met. So this is meant for a very small percentage of your portfolio, generally speaking. Okay, higher risk, capped reward. Higher risk, higher reward. But anyway, Shorebo, very interesting. We'll keep an eye on this. Will we have access to the alerts on Discord? Yes. Why don't I send our Discord link in the chat, huh, Ben?
Do it. And then one more note on Shorebo. We will be experimenting with, I'm probably going to do some work on it over the weekend. We will be experimenting with using a 30-minute opening range versus a 15-minute opening range. And then once that opening range forms, kind of like I'm doing on BenBot, switching over to the 5-minute bars and waiting for a break above or below that opening range on a 5-minute bar. I've just noticed that the trend there seems to work out really, really well. And we could, I don't know, tell me you don't want me to do this, but we could quickly take a look with orb drawn and see how many days have trended over the last couple of weeks.
Sure.
And where we would have won using that new methodology. You want to do that?
Yeah, take a few minutes here.
All right, so we are going to go with our opening range indicator, which, by the way, this is a free indicator on TradingView. Just search for PeakBot Orb, and what you can do is you can change the settings, so you could change your session period. We're going to keep it standard market hours, and then you can change your opening range if you want to use 15-minute orb, 30-minute orb, hour orb, or if you're trading other sessions, you could obviously edit there. So I'm going to look at the 30-minute sessions here, and then I'm waiting for that 5-minute bar. So I got the 5-minute chart going, and I'm waiting for that break above. So today we broke above orb at 10:30, and it looks like we would have been winning that trade. So now 30-minute orb yesterday broke below that. We know yesterday was a huge trending day downwards. Nice win there. So 2 for 2 so far. We got 30-minute orb breakdown right at 10 o'clock there. We stay below and close below orb. That's 3 for 3. Going another day back, we break above. We pull back a little bit. We hit the other side of orb, but too late in the day to get a reversal entry. No. So that day would have been a loss. So what are we? 3 for 4 at this point. Win on this day. We break out. We stay above. 4 for 5. Win here. 5 for 6. Break down here. Pop back up. But then we finish the day below. So 6 for 7. And then let's go down to this day. This is February 4th. Break below. Again, quick pop back up, but then back down below. We finish below orb. So that's another win. 7 for 8. Another win here. 8 for 9.
And that's February.
9 for 10.
Now you're going back in January. And then you're going to see a loss on the 29th.
That is, yeah. So what's that?
I think the next loss you're going to walk into is January 29th.
You see, that's on the 15-minute orb, though. If we do a 30-minute orb, we actually don't get into a trade, and we go bearish. We don't get in until 11:15, and then we finish the day right around here, which we would have sold our spread up here. So that's actually a win.
So see, I didn't recognize that while you were doing it, because as you were going through February, we were 8 for 9. Now the premiums were different, maybe if it depending, but point is, we were 1 for 1 on all of those trades. Every one that when you saw every loss you saw matched until we got back into January. Yeah, the 29th we would have lost. Tell me, go back to another loss in January. Go to the 20th, January 120, because we lost $360 on 120.
All right, so on 120, this does look like we popped above and then back down below. Too late for a reversal, so this would have been a loss as well.
Okay, let's do 2 more of these. Let's go back 2 more. Let's go to the 14th and the 15th. 2 losses there.
So the 15th, yep, that would have been a loss, so because we popped up above here, we would have went bullish, and then we dropped back down. And then the 14th might have been a win. So we popped down, and then yeah, this looks like it could have been a partial win.
Yeah, it finished there. Yep.
So it might be something to be said there. Again, this is what we do, and we use software to do this. We don't just look at charts like this and go day by day. That would take forever. We've got software that does this. So this is the process. This is what we go through. This is what every bot provider that's putting algorithms out to the market should do periodically. It's how do we keep improving? How do we keep making sure the bots that are available to our subscribers are the best that they can be?
I'm wondering if we transition one of our shows to, hey, let's look at results and then let's go do this. Our business gets so busy that maybe this is time to, because not for nothing, we've had more, at least love from YouTube subscribers today than we've had in a while. And maybe we just talk about this. Now we can, because tell me if I'm wrong, you're coming out of this saying, ooh, there's more to look at here. We got to prioritize this.
Definitely more to look at.
So, all right. Hey, something to think about. Well, Ben, we've covered pretty much everything. We haven't talked about our wheel strategy. New wheel version, new wheel bot going live when?
New wheel bot. I got to check in with the team. I want to say 2 weeks.
Okay.
I want to say 2 weeks. I wanted it to be next week, but I don't think we've gone through enough testing yet.
That's okay.
But I'm trading TQQQ on that wheel strategy.
Yep.
I'm digging it. I'm really, really digging it.
It's affordable. It's a triple leveraged ETF, so your premiums are a little more aggressive. Instead of like a SPY or Qs where you're earning 0.2, 0.3, 0.4% in a week, it's more like 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, sometimes 1%. Because if you're putting out 5K, the stock dipped. I don't know what it's at now, but it was under 50 earlier this week. So if you're only shelling out 5K for 100 shares, Ben, most weeks that's paying at least $50 in premium. So you're getting your 1% return on cash. And most of the time, you're not even buying the shares. 65% of the time, 70% of the time, you're not even taking the shares. You're just keeping your premium. So the wheel's awesome. Seriously, Ben, we keep our traders very happy. If they're on BenBot, the wheel, King AI, Shorbo, all of these strategies, you're a happy automated trader. It's just as simple as that. So keep an eye out for turbo mode. Okay. There will be an email going out. We'll likely put out an email about the new wheel when that goes live as well. Just as a great base to our portfolios. Greetings to Akeem. I don't know if this is, it almost read like Akeem Olajuwon for a second. I was ready. That's kind of almost
Akeem Olajuwon.
Akeem Salajuween. Akeem, welcome, man. Thank you for joining.
And make sure you guys tune back in. We're not going to be live on Monday because it's President's Day. Market's closed. We love those days because we get to just focus on work and not the craziness of the markets. But we will not be live on Monday. But next week, I'm kind of thinking maybe we'll talk about our poor man covered call bot that is on the way too. And I'm just looking at my position for that now because I'm testing it in my account. I'm testing it on TLT here. It's a very interesting bot. So it's we'll talk more about it next week, but at a very high level, we're buying a leap and then we're selling calls against it every week. And even though our short-term call here is in the money and losing, and I'm going to get assigned negative shares, I've got this call here that has gained more than this short call has lost. So I can close this out for a net of about a $90 gain, $88 gain to be exact. And that's in 1 week. That's just in 1 week. And that cost, what was that? Cost basis here was $1,000 to open this call, to buy this call. And then just 15, I made $15 on the actual sold side here. So I'm making about $88 on $900 of risk in a week. It's pretty good. So we'll cover that in depth sooner rather than later.
Awesome. We're getting another question. I just want to pop this up here, Ben. So for the new wheel, is it a bit more looking at the market so we can just leave it switched on with TQQ? Look, not financial advice. The idea for the wheel is kind of a set it and forget it, right? This is an investment style approach. You're trading this on stocks that you're comfortable owning and you're bullish on in the long term, which is why we've reduced our watch list so greatly from about 200 trade ideas to 10, only ETFs and index funds. So the idea is whether you're doing this on a higher level with SPY, Qs, gold, whatever it might be, or something more like IBIT, TQs, silver, something a little bit more affordable. If you don't own the shares, it sells the 35 delta put, buys the 10 delta put. So we're a bullish put credit spread. If we stay above that sold put, great. We keep our premium, we move on. If you get assigned, it's actually assigning at if you get assigned, you're actually selling the call the next week at your assignment price with the protective put at the 10 delta there as well. So there's always insurance. We insure, at least try to insure when assigned, that you're selling the shares for what you bought them for. That way, if that's a break even, we make money on the premium from both weeks or however many weeks. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk more about that. Great questions, though. Please keep them coming. If you want, just shoot us an email to experience@peakbot.com or go to our website, peakbot.com, open up a chat. Just say, I want info. Give me the slide deck for the strategies and results. We'll send you the full gamut, everything, all the strategies, all the details, everything. Yeah, and we do too. We used to, wheel Walmart and Carvana and GameStop, and I never did GameStop.
Yeah,
I definitely did Walmart.
What I like most about wheeling TQs is if you get assigned, which I am assigned right now. I got assigned at $54, so I own these shares at $54. Currently, TQQQ is trading at $49.50. So I'm down on the shares, but every week I'm just going to sell that $54 call. So when the market does eventually pop back up to $54, and if you look at the market historically, like we're always in an upward trajectory in one way or another. Doesn't mean we won't get burned at one point and, have this protective put, sell our shares. But my bet is that over time, the market's going to continue to move up and to the right. And that's exactly what this bot is doing for me, capitalizing on that.
Love a good wheel. Our longest tenured, longest running strategy, our first option strategy, and still the backbone for a lot of our traders in their portfolios. So, man, we covered a lot of strategies today.
Sure did. Probably feels like a lot to take in, but tune in, keep tuning in, and you'll learn more. The next bot we're deep diving into is the vertical wheel on our Monday morning shows in the bot shop segment. So let's wrap.
Let's get out of here. It's Friday. The markets close Monday. If you want to know about economic events for next week, head on over to TradingView. There's a nice little widget there for you, or ask us and we can help you out. But we'll be live in a week from today, Friday, noon Eastern, for all of our new YouTube friends. Normally, we get a big viewing on Twitter, but it's not showing up here. So thanks so much. Keep the chat going. We will engage with you live, ask questions, celebrate all of the stuff. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you at the peak.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.